or critique of male culture. Oh, I'm going to critique your culture. I'm going to critique your culture. These people are so stupid. God damn. I want to over intellectualize everything. And oh my goodness, let's have a great and interesting name for it. We're going to talk about male culture now because it's so. Let's guess. Is it problematic? Now I'm starting to get annoyed by this shit. Oh, what's up, everybody? Ever since we did that episode or show or video on Jack Murphy and the Manosphere, I've been absolutely fascinated by the community at hand. And I wasn't sure exactly how to figure out what the hell the Manosphere is and what's going on with it. So I did a little bit of research, went to Google, and Googled Manosphere and figured I would go over a few of the first posts, the first search results that come up, and then we can kind of go through it together and see what the hell is going on here. So let's check it out. Let's see what the Manosphere is, and do men really need it? I don't know. All right, here we go. All right, so what is the Manosphere? What is the Manosphere? And why it is a concern? Now, this makes sense because you are being propagandized a whole bunch of information, especially on the internet, and you know how the internet is. You have to fact check everything. As you guys know from my videos, we don't know anything that's going on, but we have ideas. We have ideas, and at a certain point, sometimes that's all you have. Sometimes that's all you have. But let's try to figure out what the hell the Manosphere is and what's going on. So Jessica Aston is a PhD candidate, associate lecturer, Department of Linguistics and English Language at Lancaster University. She wrote this article about the Manosphere. So the Man Trap Research Project at Lancaster University explores the misogynist, keyword there, and anti-feminist. It depends on the type of feminist, right? I mean, it does depend on the type of feminist, because there are some burn the world feminists out there that you can't agree with, right? That most people probably don't agree with. So, but this is college people, so college people have their own way of thinking. So they probably all agree on everything. They don't actually have real discourse and conversations with people that don't think differently than them. So this will be interesting because I'm sure that we won't see it from any other side but their perspective, which is great because you ain't getting nothing from anything else other than my perspective. So let's go. PhD candidate Jessica Aston describes the impact of these communities on young people. She means young men. She thinks young men are being propagandized, right? What is the Manosphere? Now, I don't know what the Manosphere is, but I do not appreciate bullshit. And we'll see if this is bullshit or if the Manosphere is bullshit. Could be, probably. The Manosphere is a network of online men's communities who promote anti-feminist, not so bad, and sexist beliefs. Yes, sexist beliefs are bad. Blaming women and feminists for all sorts of problems in society. I mean, we can blame everybody, right? We do like playing the blame game. Many of these communities encourage resentment and even hatred towards women and girls. There are 4 main groups, and that's not good. You don't want to encourage hate, guys. You do not want to encourage hate. So they're broken down into 4 different categories that I guess that's the I don't know. I guess that's like how you separate the different men in the Manosphere. You decide on what their different qualifications are, whether they're going to be an MRA, an MGTOW, a PUA, or an Incels, or an Incel. PUAs, Incel. Men's rights activists advocate political changes that will benefit men. However, much of their activism consists of harassment and abuse towards feminists and other female public figures. That sounds very vitriolic. That sounds like you're trying to get people to believe that men's rights activists are abusing feminists and female public figures. And I don't believe that that's all men rights activists. I do believe that there probably are some reasonable ones. Now, I'm just now getting into it. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments below. Let's keep going. Men going their own way. MGTOW. I've heard of MGTOW. I've definitely heard of MGTOW. Argue that women are so toxic that men should avoid them altogether. Some men go their own way. I always thought that was kind of gay. Some men go their own way, will date women, but avoid anything serious like getting married, while others won't even be friends with women. Oh my God. Oh no. You know, there's a lot of women that think the same thing about men as well, guys. There's a lot of women that think the same way. Now, I think that they are both wrong, and you should not be so toxic like that. And if you want a relationship with women, sure, go for it. But if you don't want to be around women and you don't want to be around them, sure, go for that too. It is a free world, so I don't necessarily see why that's so bad. But hey, it is what it is. Pickup artists teach men seduction strategies so that they can be more successful in attracting women. Many of these techniques involve mistreating women, such as insulting them, negging, or disregarding consent. I mean, that's like human interaction. And every variable in every human interaction changes, and it's always changing, and it's always different. So, negging, I guess that's being negative towards them to get them to like you or something, to show that you have like high value. It's normal shit. People do this all the time. Women neg men too. You guys don't know that. You know that. Like, women do the same thing to men. Like, this is pretty basic bitch shit so far. Involuntary celibates, incels. Oh, we hear about that. And it's crazy because they get the most flack. Incels get the most flack for everything, but incels believe they are entitled to a relationship with a woman. I don't think that. Oh, man. But are incapable of finding a partner. Multiple acts of extreme violence and even murder have been attributed to this group. Oh, man. Do these guys claim that they are in that group, or are you putting them in that group? That's a weird clarification for that one. That's a weird one, because if they're involuntary celibate, which they cannot get women, which they don't have or they don't feel like they have the capabilities of getting women. I'm sure that they do, but they just feel like they don't, which makes them insecure, which makes them less likely to go out and take chances and go after the women that they would be attracted to and they would try to have a date with. They would try anything with. But the multiple acts of extreme violence and even murder? I don't know, man. That's putting a lot of hate on dudes who can't get women. That's putting a lot of hate, a lot of anger, a lot of bad juju onto these guys who just can't get laid. Because I would assume majority of them just can't get laid. Of course, you're going to have a crazy person who can't get women go and shoot up everything, but you're also going to get that in any other case. So, is it a involuntary celibate thing, or is it a certain percentage of the population thing? How are young people influenced? Now we'll see. A 2020 Hope Not Hate report, probably. Oh, God, I don't want to know what type of woke horse shit is in that. I'm sure it's from a college. So, I mean, can you even trust these people? Demonstrated how the manosphere influences young people's beliefs about feminism. Boys are repeating manosphere talking points in school and even harassing female teachers. Interesting. The report found that 50% of young men aged 16 to 24 believe feminism, makes it more difficult for men to succeed. Are they wrong? Are they wrong? The report found that 50% of young men... Oh, I already read that. Ha! Owen Jones, head of education and training at Hope, Not Hate, says that gender equality is the most difficult subject to teach. Yeah, because they don't want you fucking sitting them down and telling them how they're automatically bad because they're boys. Masculinity is being shit on by every other person who isn't masculine. And there's a lot of not masculine people. I'm not even going to call them feminine, but I will say that they are not masculine. There are a lot of not masculine people out there who have a problem with masculinity. Maybe it's that. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe. Many students don't believe sexism is a problem, and when teaching the subject, there is an aggressive backlash from male students who not only deny the issues, but try to silence any notion of female empowerment. Oh, God, cringe. Or critique of male culture. I'm going to critique your culture. I'm going to critique your culture. These fucking people are so fucking stupid. God damn. I want to over-intellectualize everything. And oh my goodness, let's have a great and interesting name for it. We're going to talk about male culture now because it's so... Let's guess, is it fucking problematic? Now I'm starting to get annoyed by this shit. I just wanted to see what the hell the manosphere is. Now I don't think that I got a real interpretation of what the hell the manosphere is, because this sounds like a feminist trying to take it down. And since this was the first research result on Google, do the math. How do young people find the manosphere? I don't know. Maybe young men who don't have anywhere else to look. Maybe they didn't grow up with a father and they're looking for a strong masculine role model. Maybe they're looking for that. If you're growing up as a young man and you do not have a father figure in your life, you will gravitate to masculine figures. Now, are those the right masculine figures that you gravitate to? Who knows? But it needs to be out there because there are a lot of men who grow up without direction and they need that direction. So, doesn't necessarily seem like too bad of a thing. Doesn't seem like too bad of a thing. Many manosphere groups host their own websites and have seen increasing traffic, with some seeing growth from thousands to millions of users. However, those groups can also be found on popular social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. In particular, is home to many manosphere communities, although the most popular, MGTOW, Men Go Their Own Way, and Incel subreddits have recently been banned. Very nice. Now they don't have anywhere to go. Very nice. Young people may also find the manosphere via YouTube, as the Watch Next algorithm has been known to recommend increasingly sexist and anti-feminist content. Oh no! Now we're going to blame YouTube for helping out young men find men role models? It's not a bad thing to have men as role models. It's not. There's a lot of really good men out there that can be your role models, and they're not all grifters. This is horseshit. This is all horseshit. In order to keep users engaged, TikTok may be another avenue as men go their own way, and pickup artist communities in particular are becoming more prevalent there. What language should I look out for? Red pill, everybody knows this shit. Red pill means, I see the truth, but I guess in this one, it's seeing female nature, and feminism is about oppressing men. Jesus. Blue pill, which means you didn't take the blue pill. Everybody remembers the what was that movie? Matrix. Alpha male Chad, everybody says that, an attractive successful male who women desire. Beta male cuck, an average man who has not yet taken the red pill and is inferior to the alpha male. That doesn't sound like a true definition. I've been around a lot of dudes who get annoyed, and they don't necessarily say, that dude's a beta. They do say that dude's a cuck. And they say that dude's a cuck because that dude's being a fucking douchebag loser. Not necessarily that he doesn't agree with my misogynistic thoughts or something like that. Femoid or foid, female humanoid, mostly used by incels. Jesus Christ, that's a bad one. Gynocentrism, the theory that society revolves around and is dominated by women. It kind of is. We will do whatever we say to try to get a woman. I mean, men do that. That's why there are communities on how to deal with women. If you think about it, men are so stressed out about having to deal with women, they find communities where they can get advice and information on how to handle it. Maybe not all that information is good. Yeah, you don't want to be sexist. You don't want to be pushing misogynistic talking points. But at the same time, you do want to be encouraging, and you do want to give information out to people who are looking for it and who need it to help them get better. And sometimes there's things that a man can say to a man that a woman will just never understand. And that just is what it is. There are some things that women will say that men will never understand. There are just separations and differences. I know we don't want to accept that, and we don't want to explain that. We don't want to even mention that that's a possibility, but people are different. People are very different, and they handle things very differently. Let's continue. How can we make young people less perceptible to those harms? A lot of manosphere beliefs follow mainstream thoughts about gender and sexuality. Many teenage boys feel ashamed about not having a girlfriend, which that's pretty normal. Very normal. Of course they do. They feel emasculated because that means you can't get women. You don't feel like a real man. And some people just get that into their own heads. Nobody tells them that. That's not culture telling them that. That's not the systemic problems telling them that. That's not deeply ingrained in society. That's just how your brain works sometimes. You don't want to be alone. Most people don't want to be alone. Many teenage boys feel ashamed not having a girlfriend, but this does not necessarily mean they will identify as an incel. Therefore, it is important to have early conversations about healthy relationships and gender relations so that people do not get sucked into the black and white and often defeatist thinking of the manosphere. Tools like the Online Together project are designed to help these conversations. Constructive support with difficult feelings around girls, sexuality, masculinity is also essential. And surely, I'm sure they're having those types of conversations, and I'm sure that they're doing it. But this was a step into the manosphere so that we can have an idea of what the manosphere is. And I think that I think that I messed up, and I got a feminist perspective on it. But I'm going to be doing a little bit more research onto this stuff because this stuff's fascinating. I love seeing this type of stuff, and it's like, this is something that I would have been looking for. This is something that I would have needed. I would have needed something like this when I was growing up. Now, I don't need to be misogynistic. I'm not saying all the negative things that come with it, but having the advice of older men who can help you in your life if you don't have any type of masculine figure like that in your life and you are a young man, it's very complicated and it's very tough out there, and you do feel alone. So it is great to have these types of communities, but I do agree you shouldn't be negative and you shouldn't be pushing them towards hate. I don't think that most people are, though. I do think that most people get a bad rap. Now, there are people who are trying to get attention, and they'll say the most ridiculous shit, but I don't hold that against them either, guys. I do not hold that against them either. Anyway, I think that one of the most important things that we all can get out of these types of things is sometimes when you're looking for an answer, it's best to look at yourself, and it's best to say that no, it's not all these women who are the problem. It's myself, and it's the way that I am handling my situations, and I can get myself better. That's the best thing that we can do, whether you're a man or a woman, whatever you are. I just get tired. I get tired of people trying to separate themselves by either gender, race, class, everything, guys. Everything. Class, if I can finish the word. Everything. People try to separate themselves and tribalize themselves into different groups. And this is another point where they are. But I do believe that these tribes are necessary. Feminist tribes are necessary. Manosphere tribes are necessary. All these types of things are necessary. We need to have more of a positive light on these types of things and help each other. With that being said, if you are a young man and you are looking for advice and you are looking for that type of stuff, that help is out there. That information is out there. But you have to not let too much of that information get polluted with A or B. You don't want the sexist, misogynistic stuff, but you also do not want that woke horseshit either, because there's somewhere in between. It's not all black and white. Nothing's black and white. No one is the exact same. No woman is the exact No woman is the exact same, and no man is the exact same. So whenever it comes to all of these things, we have to understand that we are dealing with individuals with that computer on their shoulders. They are all individuals. We are all individuals, and we're all out here just trying to do what we can do. Try to stay strong. Try not to get too overhyped into your own little tribes and tribalize yourself to where you separate yourself from your fellow man and your fellow woman, because we are all in this together.